Hello my dear students, welcome back to the same model, business environment. See, in the business environment, the meaning already we have discussed. So business environment refers to sum or totality of all individual and institutional factors and forces of the outside which will affect on internal performance and environment of the business or the organization is called business environment. See, knowing the business environment or the knowledge of business environment or knowledge of external environment of the business is very important for designing and redesigning of internal environment of the organization. I mean to improve internal performance, so to modernize internal activities, to upgrade the each and everything in the organization, right? To renovate the business, to improve the skills of employee, to send employees for further training, to increase, right, the methods and way of production, for standardization of internal activities, to increase quality, to increase internal performance. Environmental scanning or environmental study is very important. So here the very important topic for 8 mark, features of business environment. The features means the characteristics of business environment or attributes of business environment. See, here there are around 7 features. The 7 attributes are 7 characteristics of business environment. See here, characteristics or attributes are features. Very important to understand the purpose, meaning and the necessity of the study of business environment. To know the necessity of the study of business environment and to know the purpose, advantages and objectives, right, from the study of business environment, we can come to know by analyzing and by understanding each and every features of business environment. The first one is totality of external forces. This is the primary or the fundamental feature of business environment. Second one is general and specific forces, interrelatedness, dynamic, uncertainty, complexity and relativity. There are totally 7 features of business environment. See, first one is totality of external forces. See, totality of external process. In a meaning itself we decide some are totality of individual and institutional factors of the outside. Outside means external. Dear students, to this point, totality of external forces means some are totality of individual and institutional factors and forces of the outside the business environment will affect on the internal environment of the organization. Hence, all the factors totally from the external environment, the external environmental factors will affect on internal performance of the organization. Hence, totality of external forces. External forces means to the external forces, customer, supplier, general public, government, tax departments, banks, insurance companies, government authorities, all external forces. Next one is general and specific forces. Dear students, in external forces, 2 broad categories, 2 classifications. Some of the external forces related to general and some of the external forces belong to specific. So here all institutional factors general and all individual factors are specific. So general means economic environment, political, technological, legal and socio-cultural general forces, and specific forces means customer, supplier, right, then competitor, right, customer, supplier, competitor, right, specific forces. The second feature of the business environment, general and specific forces. General means common to all business organization. Economic, political, technological, legal and socio-cultural environmental factors, and specific forces means these forces are pertaining to particular business organizations, not to all. Those are, right, customers, suppliers and competitors, even investors also. Specific forces. Third one is interrelatedness. See here, interrelatedness means the environmental factors interrelated, means interdependent. Interdependent. Example, increasing awareness for insurance policies and increasing demand for insurance policies. Right? Increasing awareness for the insurance, increasing awareness to the customer or to the public about the insurance and its necessity, and increasing demand for the purchase of insurance policies. Awareness about the health, the public health, and increasing, right, demand for health insurance policies. Right? So these are very interrelated. And increasing awareness about the education and its necessity, and increasing, right, the demand for medical seats, increasing demand for, right, BBA, MCOM, MBA, right, and increasing demand for, right, seats in primary school, high school, in a PU colleges, right, increasing demand for the admissions. So these are the best examples for interrelatedness. Increasing awareness for the education and increasing demand for the admissions, very interrelated. Next one is dynamic. See, business environment is highly dynamic, right? Highly dynamic, highly flexible. So always the external environmental factors are very flexible, right? There, right, continuous changes in economic environment, continuous changes in political, continuous changes in consumer taste and preference, continuous changes in, the socio-cultural factors, and continuous changes in all environmental factors. Hence, the business environment is totally dynamic. To this, we can give examples: economic environmental factors, socio-cultural environmental factors, technological environment factors, legal environmental factors are highly dynamic and flexible. Next one is uncertainty. So uncertain. So in advance, we cannot estimate and we cannot predict and we cannot give the exact statistics about the future changes or the upcoming changes, or totally about the future. Highly uncertain, which we cannot predict and which we cannot forecast and which we cannot give the exact statement about the environmental factors, about the consumer taste and preference, about the prices of the product, about the government rules and regulations, about the tax rates, right? Can we imagine, can we expect the exact statistics of tax rates for the year 2022, 23, 24, 25, right? Can we give the exact statement regarding the consumer demand for motor vehicles for the year 2022, 23, 24 and 25? Highly impossible. Hence, the business environment is highly uncertain, which we cannot predict and which we cannot forecast and which we cannot give exact result and exact statement. Next one is complexity. Very complex, very complicated, very tedious, very lengthy process, and very difficult to understand and manage the external environment, because external environment not in the hands of business people. That is highly uncontrollable. We cannot control external environment, but we can manage external environment through changing internal performance, through changing internal activities. So as per the external change, we have to change the internal environment. Nobody can control the external environment. So very complex to understand, very complex to, right, digest, very complex to, right, face, right, very tough, very tedious, very lengthy process, right? It takes, right, some days. It takes few days to understand. It takes several days to implement. Hence, very complexity. Finally, relativity. So external environmental factors are related to particular country. Very clear, students. The next feature is dynamic. So here dynamic means flexible. It's not fixed one. Business environment means all factors are not fixed. So highly flexible. Highly flexible means totally, right? We see the continuous changes in economic environmental factors, political environment, socio-cultural, technological and legal environment. The best example, every year government used to change tax rates. Every year, right, we see the changed customers' taste and preference and their expectations and their demand, right? Continuous changes in economic environment, political environment, technological environment, legal environment and socio-cultural environment. Hence, business environment is highly dynamic, highly flexible. Example, right, customer taste and preferences, changes in customer taste and preferences, changes in bank rates, changes in tax rates, right, changes in government rules and regulations. These are the best examples for the feature dynamic or flexible. Next feature, uncertainty. Uncertain. What is the meaning of uncertainty? Right? Uncertainty means immeasurable, right? Which we cannot forecast, which we cannot predict in advance. So here, business environment is highly uncertain. We cannot forecast and we cannot predict the future changes. I mean, the changes in economic environment, changes in political, changes in technological, changes in, right, socio-cultural. Exactly, we cannot give the exact statistics of the changes in consumer taste and preference, right, for the year 2020 or 21 or 22 or 23, right? So regarding future, we cannot give the exact statistics now. That is uncertainty, right? Related to, right, motor vehicle companies, are related to fast moving consumer goods, are related to sophisticated things, are related to luxurious goods or any product, right? In advance, we cannot give the exact statistics about the future demand, about the future necessity, about the future customer changes in customer taste and preference, right? In advance, we cannot predict, we cannot forecast and we cannot give the exact statement. Hence, business environment is highly uncertain. Next one is complexity. See, complexity means very tough, very complicated to understand, very complicated to implement, very complicated to manage and very complicated to understand the each and every aspect. Very complicated to understand the sudden changes and continuous changes, instant changes, right, quick changes, highly, right, difficult, highly complicated to understand, highly complicated to manage and highly complicated to adapt and go ahead with the certain changes. Hence, business environment is highly complex. Next one is relativity. The environmental factors, political environment, technological, socio-cultural and legal environmental factors, right, pertaining to, right, applicable to particular country economy, right. So, our Indian economic factors, political factors, technological factors, socio-cultural factors and legal factors, we cannot implement in another country. We cannot expect the same factors in America or Japan or Germany. So, Indian economic factors, socio-cultural, technological and legal factors are totally different and differ from, right, another country. So, environment factors are differ from country to country. Hence, environmental factors pertaining to particular country and particular country economy only. Hence, relativity. Relativity means related to or particular pertaining to particular country or particular country economy. Hence, environment factors are highly relative or related to particular country, not to all countries. So, these are the features of business environment. First one is totality of external forces, general and specific forces, interrelatedness, dynamic in nature. Next one is uncertainty, complexity and relativity. My dear students, this is very important for 8 marks. Thank you students. Thank you all.